to another Three Wise Men. We have Captain J here, Mitchell Wiseman here, and of course, Coon Hunter's over there, Jared.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy.
So, awkwardly enough, we did not plan for this podcast like we should have, and instead we don't have a topic. So if anyone who eventually listens to this likes to write in a topic, we would gladly try to talk about it here.
We'll come up with ideas as we go. What are your thoughts? Let's do this. We are live. There we go.
Live and in color.
So do we have any testimonies, fella? Anything miraculous that you guys can think of at this moment? Anybody?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
High five. Yes, I like that. Miraculous. I woke up this morning.
Let's see. That's always a good.
Anybody want to come live?
That's right.
Yeah, I do.
That's right. We encourage everybody to publicly embarrass themselves on this show.
Yes. Everybody share this live as watching.
But as most of you that might have been watching the show previously, Mitch is going to be here live in person the entire time.
Isn't that cool as grits?
Yeah. He's no cutting in and out. He's live.
Look, the internet's working because Mitchell's internet does like the government and I want it to work.
Oh yeah. I keep telling Uncle Sam he needs to pay the bills and he doesn't listen. Like we'll get to it.
Let's see what else we got. I'm just gonna throw this out. We got some big things coming here in Burlington. At least got some plans going. Meeting with some folks. I met with a local musicianary on Monday. I didn't think about that. So we got some plans for this year on things. Once again, we got the Extreme Tour coming to Galesburg. I want to say it's in July. Dates aren't exactly set yet. It's the fourth year we're going strong there. So we got that. I'm hoping to get and praying that we can get here in Burlington. Last year got rained out. See if we can get it here in Burlington. And then there's a lot of other events. They're going to go into some dark places. Have some different things. Got possibly Quake Fest is coming back. We kind of lost that for a little bit. COVID stuff kind of eliminated that.
Curse you, COVID.
And then
stupid China virus.
made in China. And then we're looking to do a Battle of the Bands kind of thing out here with as a Quake Fest thing. So looking at 3 or 4 different bands. We have one local that we're definitely putting in. Once I get a hold of him, but he'll be there. And then probably 3 or 4 other bands, and then like I guess it's a rap fest, Battle of the Rappers. I don't know what the word is for it.
Sweet.
It's not gonna be
Rap off.
Rap off.
Yeah. It's not going to be anything like 8 Mile where they're insulting each other. Since this is a godly rap.
It's a godly battle. Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
Roast game.
It's like who can rap the Bible faster?
Who quotes more scriptures?
He's done 30 seconds within 30 seconds. Wow, that's impressive.
But those kind of
Which one's the rabbi rapper?
Rabbi? Be some black.
Yeah, there we go.
So good. So yeah, we got some plans for this year coming. A little thing is it's if anyone that knows a little history, Judy has been working on a book. If you've watched Conversations with the Cats, she's used said some excerpts from there. I'll leave it at this. It's in process. So
exciting.
So we got that going. So when it's out and available, we're willing to come to your city and hear a little testimony. Me as well. I'm supposed to work on my book. I was told that. Anyone else got anything? I kind of do.
I won't be there because I'll be on top of a mountain meditating, but everybody else will be there.
Yeah, top of them. Might be the bottom of someone else's valley.
And for any of you interested to post your testimonies on the show, we would really appreciate it. If you want to keep it private, just put down just say the testimony name. We would like to really show how God is working in this world today, in your lives and in those around you, especially things that you may see or you come to realize. It's important that we lift each other up in the faith. It's important that we keep our faith alive, because so many times when we get isolated, it becomes stagnant and our faith begins to die and dwindle. Think of it like a fire, a campfire. It's like God put down the kindling, you lit a little match, and we want to keep breathing life into that fire. And so we hope to do that in each and every one of your lives and those around you. And we would love to hear how God is influencing you or your community, or just what you're seeing overall. It'll help us, it'll help those who may listen to this in the future. And we would love to be able to thank God and praise God with you. So if you want to add anything or, write in anything, we would really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And everybody share this live out. We got 3 people watching, so all 3 of y'all share it.
I see 5. We were up to 8.
Oh, yeah. I scared them all.
There you go.
They're asking me questions.
Well, share it to your grandma, your auntie, your uncle, your redneck brother from another mother, the baker. Share it to everybody. The
And
janitor.
there is no testimony too small at all. All testimonies are large, and all testimonies are the same in our eyes.
That's right.
I mean,
And that's the best way to I already lost the term. To inform people, to disciple, essentially, is share your story. I had that on Monday. I talked with a buddy, and he's like, I just saw what happened. He's like, wow, this is just what happened. But that's a way to reach people, is just sharing your story. It doesn't have to be full of scripture. It doesn't have to be full of all that kind of stuff. It's just say what happened and what God did.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like I said, we would love to hear it. I mean, we like to see what God's doing in our lives, but it's a thrill to see how God is helping others in our community. I mean, and even if just for things that you're thankful for, that's a testimony in itself. It's like, God, I'm thankful that I woke up this morning. God, I'm thankful for the full belly that I have. God, I'm thankful for healthy kids. God, I'm thankful for something, anything. I mean, I'm sure you guys can think of something, and we won't belittle or tear it down just because we may not see what you see.
Do you see
That's
what
right.
you see?
Yes.
I wish I could get my one of my best friends, Josh, on here. He's got a recent testimony that I'd love for him to share. I ain't gonna do no good for me to share because I'll butcher it, because I may get the story wrong. But he's got a great story.
Josh, come on down. The 3 wise men would like to hear your testimony.
Yes, that'd be great. In fact, let me tag him in the comment section. Maybe he'll see this. I'd like for him to come live. Josh Robinson.
Yes. I could share a testimony with everybody. Mine is more of a simple one. I don't have big dreams. Never.
Oh,
I don't have them, and there's nothing wrong with it. You got a big dream, do it. Dream big. And if it doesn't sound big to you, well, it's not for me to judge. It's your dream, and it's between you and God. But mine is working security has really given me. I am upbeat. For the first time, I can't wait to go to my job. And it's not that way every time. I just want to make that perfectly clear. There's near days. Today was a near day, but it still reminded me that I'm blessed to have a job that I have. I still get chances to pray for people, even if they don't realize I'm praying for them, because let's face it, not everybody wants to. It sounds really wrong when you say, I'll pray for you, but you don't pray right there. So it's like, so I keep it to myself, and I pray like, hey, God, this guy's having a hard time or that. Or they're having a hard time, and it's amazing to see how people come back with smiles. And they even open up and they tell me, "Oh, yeah, this has happened. Oh, this has come through for me." And I love to hear those things. And I mean, I'm so glad that I'm working in a job where, one, I love attention, which is why I'm doing a podcast here, and I get to do that. I get that, but at the same time, I also get to see the amazing people and their stories in our community, and it's amazing to me. I love it. And I love the coworkers that I get to work with, and I get to see just the differences in personalities and how that helps me as a person to adapt and everything. And wow, it's changing the view. Everything is, I'm over there now, he's over here. But all seriousness, I am so thankful to God for the job I have. I may not be making buku bucks, but I didn't do it for buku bucks. I did it because I love it.
You're making buku bucks.
I make more money than I did before. So
I'm making buku. I'm not. We work the same job, so it's definitely not worth it.
except he's got more experience in it than I do. But that's
And you're making the same as I am. What a wonderful.
Please tell me y'all carry pistols.
What? What?
Y'all carry pistols?
Oh no! Our super,
The Holy Bible is our pistol.
yeah. It's like our security man, head of our security, basically said, "I was like, I don't trust you, knuckleheads with a pistol."
I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
And he says that lovingly, I think. No, but yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust any of us with that.
All right, I'm
So-
trying to tag them.
How is it going on your end with your job, Jared?
It's pretty good. So apparently, he had like maybe one, maybe two more people to interview last time I talked to him, and so I hope to hear something back maybe next week. I think the original thing was the 8th, somewhere around the 8th, which is sometime next week. So hopefully I'll hear something then. But apparently they've been interviewing a good many people, I guess, and I'm hoping that I end up on top since I've been there 4 years and I'm the only person that works there that's applied for it. So,
Awesome. Praying that you do get that.
Oh, definitely.
but if I don't, I just know that God's got something better for me. Because I mean, I've got really huge dreams and goals, and I figure if I do get this will be a step towards my big dreams and goals. So,
Yeah.
And you see, and that's the right way of looking at it too. It's like when we don't get the thing we pray for, it doesn't mean that God's done with us. It just means like that wasn't what He wanted for us. And
that's right.
I like to point out, God isn't a tyrant. If you're insistent on having something, you may get it, but you may find that what He had for you was so much better. He's not petty. He's got a purpose in these things. So,
Tom, Richard, or
Yes.
Tom?
oh yeah,
Right.
definitely. It's-
Wow.
Because God is not a tyrant, regardless of what you read in the Bible, regardless of what you've heard, He isn't a tyrant. Half the time when He does something, it's because we're stubborn and we're stuck in our ways, and He has to do something extreme to get through.
It's called the consequence of our action He gives us, is what it is.
Oh yeah,
We did something stupid, and He's like, well,
yeah. I can't roll a boulder down a hill and not expect to get someone to get hurt. I can't.
Yeah.
it's a nice boulder. Yeah, you just let it roll.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get hurt.
I can't. It's like one, I couldn't stop the boulder, and two, it's going where it wants to at that point.
So,
Let's see.
I do want to give a little shout out to Lisa, who's watching.
Hi, Lisa.
She's not chiming in or anything, but she said she is watching. We have a fan club.
Yay!
David, who will probably watch at a later time, who's now doing stuff. David said he'll watch it later, so shout out to David. I'll ask him if he saw this last night or tomorrow.
We're reaching people.
All right.
But hey, Jared, there might be a time where behind us you might see a live studio audience.
That's right. And
Oh,
then
cool.
to entertain, it's like, are you not entertained?
So,
We're not gonna see Ronald McDonald run up behind you, are we?
I can't guarantee anything.
No, I didn't see Ronald McDonald in my head. I saw It from Stephen King. He's like, which George is like a Berlin?
Penny audience.
It's like, oh God, no.
So the other thing I'm working on too here is also getting an actual studio spot at one of our local churches. So
Oh,
actually-
cool.
So this is a discernment concept. Like I thought I was going to have. There's a guy here in town has an office that has 5th floor, looks over the river, beautiful view. Nice little office or studio. I'm like, I can ask him for that. That'd be great. And da da da. And I was like, nope, I gave you a church to go to. But I want the. Okay, we're gonna come up with the church. So we may be doing live from a church.
Oh, cool.
Because we might be, if we get some live guests. That sounds horrible. Guess they're here in person, not just via online.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We may be
And-
kidnapping you.
It's not
And you-
kidnapping if they go voluntarily.
We may.
And you'll have to. You'll have to be sure they got good Wi-Fi.
Oh yes. We'll make sure to bring plenty of Kool-Aid for everybody.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Last time that happened, look what happened.
I'm not stuck on my phone, so I can make all the jokes I want, and I can speak as loud as I want now too. I don't have someone sleeping
All
beneath
right, I am sick
me.
of everybody.
That's great.
All right, so. All right, I just tagged like 50 people in the comments, and I sent this out.
Let's see these numbers jump.
Oh, it went down one.
Yeah, yeah, it's only showing 2 people watching on my end.
He's always there typing, tagging. Hey, that's cool.
So you got 2 people watching the 3 wise men, so that's 5.
5 now. It's jumped.
My hand says 5.
I don't know who, but somebody.
Yeah, we got someone.
Okay, so it's probably showing 2. Okay, 3 on my ministry page, and then whatever it's showing for the Quake page.
Yeah, I got Quake. I got 2 showing, and I know who those people are.
Yeah. It's us, guys.
Oh, hey, there's one other. There's one other. And the other 4 people on Coon Hunters. No,
Okay.
Somebody just joined in on our Facebook page.
Hi, Facebook guy or woman. Or
So does anybody? All right. So does anybody have any like testimony they want to share? And then if you want to come up live and share it with us, we can post a link in the comments to come live with us.
I want to post in the comments. We could Facebook message. So you don't want everyone jumping in randomly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can approve them or not, but I just.
And to be fair, if you don't feel comfortable doing that live, also just posting it someplace. We would.
Yeah.
And obviously, you don't have to give a name or specifics because it might be too personal. But give us the gist of your testimony, and we would love to share it with the world.
Yeah, if you know me or Jared, send it to one of us. If you know Mitchell too, you can send it to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have access to it, so
I don't really know people. They just.
And we'll be able to check it anyway.
Yeah, right.
Send it to, you can also send it to me or Jared in a private message.
And also prayer requests. We would love to hear your prayer requests. We pray for you at the end of the show. It's important to
Yeah.
us.
If you got any prayer requests.
Oh yes, it's important. And it sounds like we're just jumping all over the point, but this is why we started the podcast. It's because we want to fan the flames of each and every person's heart. We're not just here for a radio show or for views. Even if we only have one person listening, and that person could go out, which could be you. That's right, you watching my finger right now. It could be you that reaches somebody else who reaches millions. You don't know. We just don't know how God plans to use this podcast, you or each other. We just don't. And we would love to be able to at least fan the embers in your life. So,
Fan the flame. Yep. Well, you never know what. Oh, here's what we can do a little topic if you want. It's maybe. I'm not sure how I like the idea. Do you want to ask me questions about the station and how it started, or my faith level, that kind of stuff?
are you talking about each other?
Myself, just me. You guys ask me. Or
So how did it start?
I don't know. Oh.
You don't know how the radio started? It's like, it just happened.
It's like once upon a time.
What?
Once upon a time, there was a magical radio
My
fairy.
mom and dad met back in that. No, just kidding.
Well, you see, there was mommy and daddy. They loved each other very much. Oh, too far. We want to know.
Here's the video.
We don't need to know your genesis.
But basically, in short, I'm going to try to make it relatively short. 2011, I had started listening to Christian music on the 90-day challenge kind of thing. That started in January of 11. You see where we're at today. But stuff happened. We ended up in Galesburg. I was working at Walmart there. And it was January of 16. And I was always, as Judah likes to say, I was always complaining about, I was saying, well, I can't ever find a station that plays the music I like, or the hip hop and metal and all that. So you got tired of me stating that all the time. So why don't you start your own station? So a coworker of mine, he just finished broadcasting school. And he wanted to do like all the radio shows and all that stuff. And I was going to be the behind the scenes folk. So let's just do a station. So we kind of came together with our talents that I didn't have, and he had some. And January 16th of 2016 is when it was birthed. As it was originally King Without a Crown. There was no original E at the end. But then if you just KWAK, it's Quack. I didn't think that was a good name for a radio.
He's calling himself crazy.
Yeah, like, we already know you're a quack. Don't give him any. Because that's what I would have done when I was an atheist. I would have been like, yeah, they're a quack. We already knew that. So then it's the everyday part, and the name was spawned from Matisyahu, who does Jewish reggae. He has a song called "King Without a Crown," and it's talking about his love and faith with God, kind of thing. And that's where the name kind of spawned from. So that started January 16th, 116 day. Romans 116. When that started. And it's been 8 years since. So
Yeah, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
yeah. So yeah, that was 8 years. Well, yeah, 8 years. I never thought I would have been doing a podcast with some guy out of Alabama, LA, Lower Alabama.
That's right, Lower Alabama. That's
Well,
how
you
we
said
roll.
somebody, is that your buddy there? He goes, he's from the north. He's from up north. Everybody's north from me. 12 people.
12 people. Over yonder, I got about 20 people.
On the holler, you got 6 people.
To be fair, when we live in the middle of like the United States, it's pretty easy. Like we either got so many north of us and so many south of us. It's like we're smacked.
Yeah, everybody's east.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's like everyone's like, "Where's Iowa?" I've never heard of Iowa. Well, we probably provided you with a lot of your produce, like corn.
So same with Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana.
Oh yes, we can't miss our neighbors in Illinois. Hi, Illinois.
You can see it from here.
Yes, we can see it across the river.
Hey, Adam.
Guns
Hey, Adam, you want to come live with us? Yeah, if you want to come live with us, click the link, Adam.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's in the group messenger, or you send it separately too.
Yes, it's in the group messenger.
Please, we need a topic. We're floundering here.
Flanders.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure Adam's got a real good topic.
And he's got a new podcast too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We got to hear about your podcast too, Adam.
And this time, Adam, Mitch is always here.
That's right. I can actually have a full conversation with you. Not that that's why you want to join us, but still.
This is enjoyable.
Yeah, because Mitch won't be popping in and out.
Sorry, guys. I have to say something. Sorry.
Answer that I could have was somebody in the room.
A couple of friends of mine who do a podcast, they said it's so much easier when people are in the same room.
He's in the room.
He's in the room.
That's a song. Tasha Cobbs.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Lisa. Hi. Yay.
Hi, Lisa.
There we go. See you comment.
Hi, Elisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah, we'll see if Adam hops on.
You have a fan.
I got tagged. I got tagged some more people.
We appreciate it.
We appreciate it. But so that's how the station kind of started. It was just basically, I got tired of not finding the music I liked on any of the radio stations. So I created my own.
I love that story.
Yeah, just create your own. Okay.
It was a simple need. He was a man, unlike anyone else, who was tired of the same old music on the same old radio.
And then we also wanted to make sure we did concerts and stuff. So it wasn't just a radio station, because it was more than that. And I want to say it's July of 16. We did our first concert at a building that is no longer existent in Galesburg. But it was with Eric Steven, who does nerdcore Christian rap, and then Jason, who's out of St. Louis. And he didn't know, he kind of headlined with that. And we had, I think, 6 people showed up. 4 were, about 6 people. One were crowds. But that was our first one. And we learned. I learned a lot from that. Not to do it in that location.
All right, so Adam's gonna come live with us.
Coming live. Where's he at?
Adam,
It's-
come on down. Go the next.
To the Price is Right.
Three Wiseman.
Where's Bob Barker when you need him?
I did.
He's spading and neutering dogs and cats.
After every show, he would always say that. And remember, have your loved ones spayed and neutered.
Your loved ones?
and
I like every single episode he would do that. I love The Price is Right.
Drew Carey still does that. It's not your loved ones, it's your animals. But not your loved ones. Who else you want? Your mom, dad, sister, cousin, brother, auntie. Crazy redneck uncle from down the hall.
Come on, guys.
I just wonder, because Drew Carey took his place. I wonder if Drew Carey says that same thing at the end of each show.
Yeah.
He continues the tradition.
It took him a bit, though. He probably didn't feel right about it right off the bat. It's like I'm replacing the guy. I'm not.
Yeah, that's weird.
I always get weirded out when people try to do that. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna replace this fellow. It's like that's dark. It's like, okay, be yourself, maybe.
So
Remember what was the movie Happy Gilmore? Have y'all seen that?
Yep. Oh yeah, I love it.
Adam Sandler, he gets beat up by Bob Barker on the golf course.
Hey, Adam.
there's Adam. Woo! There we go. Bam.
There's my homie.
There's
What are
the
y'all
doll.
doing?
We're floundering. We don't have a topic because we didn't do our homework. Do you have something for us? Please.
At least he's honest.
Hey, honesty is the best policy.
I just listened for like 5 minutes or whatever, and I caught the tail end of something. You were saying, were you talking about the name of your radio station or?
Yeah, radio station.
Okay, were you talking about how you came about it?
Mm-hmm.
That is so funny because I literally, when I came on tonight, that was my question, was like, how did you come up with the name? And I'll just go back and re-listen. I want you to re-explain it because I missed the entire thing. And I was like, did he really just finish talking about the name of how he came up with K, and all that? I was like, dude, that was my question. Like, and I missed the whole thing.
I can re-answer that. I mean, the name itself comes from Matisyahu, who's a Jewish reggae artist. So yeah, Jewish reggae, which is actually it's weird. We did a song called "King Without a Crown," and basically the song is reggae song, but it's glorifying a relationship with God in that aspect, not Jesus, but just God in that aspect. And I have a Jewish background, so I like that aspect. I'm like "King Without a Crown." I can't have a KWAC. That's just weird. And I like so I went with a K, but if it's KWAK, it's quack. And we don't need a Christian radio station that says quack. People already say that.
We're all quackers.
So I added an E to it. He's a king without a crown every day. Jesus is a king without a crown every day.
I got you.
So
Yeah, that's. I just think that's so funny because literally that was like, man, if I go, I want to know how you came up with that name. and as soon as I mean, I'm not even kidding you. As soon as I came in, I heard you say, "Here we are, 8 years later," or however many you said 8, I think. And I was like, man, I think he just was talking about what I was going to ask.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and if you have other questions, feel free to ask.
Well, I see. Mitchell gave up on his internet.
Oh God! This is a message to Quest. Please update your systems.
It was one CenturyLink, which is something.
Yeah. Tell him Jesus said update your internet.
Hello, how are you?
So it's just easy to bring in here. Yeah.
That's funny.
So look,
how's your guys' week's been?
Oh, fantastic! I'm up, moving. I got my health. I got a roof above my head. I've got food. I get to still do this podcast, which is odd because most people will be like, please shut him up. And it's just amazing what my week's been. I mean, if I focus on the positive. Of course, there's stuff, but nothing too terrible, at least so far. Thank God.
He says that now until we're off the end. He's like, I hate you. No,
Oh, jeez.
no. You know, work with him again tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. How was your day?
So look,
Yeah, it's good. You know, like last week, like I said, you know, you guys could kind of tell I was kind of, you know, and then the week before I was kind of, you know, I think, yeah, this week's all right. Like, yeah, I'm not really in any mood. Like, I'm not in a good mood or bad. I'm just kind of cool. Like, you know, last week I was kind of down, kind of whatever. Yeah, it's been a good week. Busy with work and you know, coming off the weekend after our first little show we did. So yeah.
so tell them about the new podcast.
Oh yeah, it was going. Yeah. Oh, you know, we did our first episode Sunday. You know, I don't have any complaints on how it went as far as like. Of course, I gave, you know, me and Jared talked and I gave it a, you know, like a C, you know, rating, because just me as a person, I set such high demands of myself, and probably isn't fair to myself sometimes. But you know, so I don't want to put a product out there that's, you know, halfway.
Yeah.
And I was trying to word it without, you know, so but it, you know, it went good. It was exciting. It was fun. A little nervous in the beginning. Got told that from some people, which is whatever. You know, I loved hearing the constructive criticism. Like I loved it. Like, because I was hoping that people wouldn't tell me what I wanted to hear. I wanted genuine feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So have a lot to work on, have a lot to grow with it. I think I think it's man, I really think we got something if we really, really put everything we possibly can into that 90-minute show. And just be the best versions of ourselves on there. That's most important to me. Is we're me and TJ are being authentic to ourselves. We're not portraying to be somebody else. We're not trying to be somebody we're not. You know, keep things in order, keep things in check, which Jared plays a role in that because he produces the show for us. That I'm so grateful for. Grateful for, like I said,
Jason
to, you know, to take a chance on us. You know, we've been thinking of doing this for a couple of years and never really had it figured out. And Jared was like, hey, I might have a contact that might this, might that. And I was thinking, all right, cool, let me know. Here we are. So, yeah, we got our next episode on Sunday at 8:30. So I'm looking forward to it.
And shout out to so Jason McMillan that owns the 110 Nation Sports. If it wasn't for Jason, I wouldn't have a podcast. He wouldn't have a podcast. So everybody be sure and go look up 110 Nation Sports on Facebook and give him a like.
Yeah, I mean, the guy takes chances. I mean, just like he don't owe me nothing. He don't owe Jared. I mean, it's just like, yeah, it's just further like it further strengthens my belief in people are put in your life for a certain reason. And Jared being in my, you know, like a lot of good things have come from Jared being my friend. You know, of not even from not asking for it. It just happens. Like it, you know, like, and man, that's somebody working in your favor. You know, that's a testament to, you know, the good guy above. So, you know, I strongly believe he puts people in your life for a reason. He takes them out of your life for a reason.
That's right.
And there's
you know.
something about knowing that you have somebody in your corner, no matter what. That lets you, like, it's a freeing feeling. It's a really freeing feeling. Like you have somebody that's got back. That's kind of how we're supposed to look at God too. It's like no matter how bad we mess up, no matter how bad we think we've messed up, he's got our back, you know, and he'll never throw you out or throw you out in the cold or say you shouldn't have done that. And it's nice that you see like a little piece of God and like in Jared and things, because those are the anchors in our life that reminds us there is a God, there is a purpose. Like you said, we don't just meet people for no reason, you know. There's a reason that people come and go from our lives, and if we just stop and pay attention, you can see miracles.
And you know, God, like what he's talking about, God removes people from your life. I've had people removed from my life that I was personally connected to, but he hears conversations that we don't hear. So we're all mad, aggravated. Like, dang, what did I do to this person? And then when you think about it, I said, well, he hears conversations we don't hear. So he took them out of our life for a reason. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll with it. I'm fine with it. You know, it don't bother me. And then and everything happens for a reason. Everything.
I hate that saying.
But
I really do.
True.
But it is. I guess that's why I dislike. I shouldn't say hate because I don't hate anything, but I dislike it because it is so true. Like, and you know, it's just a stupid saying, and yeah, that's just where I'm gonna leave that. And you're exactly right. The conversations we don't hear, and then it's it's like, man, I didn't do. It's like you didn't do nothing at all, you know, or what did I do? I didn't, you know. You outgrow. People outgrow each other. People outgrow relationships. People like, I used to be really, really good friends with, say X, Y, and Z, and then, 20 years ago. And then when I see that person, yeah, we're still cool and cordial, but I have a new set of X, Y, and Z that I'm really close with. It's just weird how life and stuff like that, people grow apart, people reconnect after being apart. Like, a testament like what you were saying, Mitchell, about, people working in your favor or seeing glimpses of God and Jared being my friend. Like me, that's a testament to you two, for being in my life. Like, I do have, like, the last couple times I've been on, it does seem like the day was stressful, like last week or whatever. I had this kind of just calming, like, just kind of pressure lifted of sorts once I came on and chatted with you guys and heard your guys' perspective. And so I thank you guys for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and each time I come on here, it seems like I get a little more of that each time. So I enjoy, because I leave better than the way I came, I guess I should say, mentally.
We just had that conversation at dinner tonight. Yeah, you went in one way, came out another.
Yeah. And
you went in kind of came out good. That's another whole testimony.
And it's so refreshing to hear that, because, well, a lot of pastors and churches are leaving because they don't know if they're doing any good where they are, because they don't hear their congregation saying like these things. Like, and so it's like, if I'm not doing any good, why am I here? And so it's reassuring to those who want to do God's good work, or even just learn about God, like yourself, or have these questions answered. It's reassuring to them that, we are doing some good, even if we don't have all the answers, and even if we can't, we can't possibly have all the answers. Most of what we say comes from our own personal experiences, and you'll find that some of your personal experiences might help us or help others along the way too. It's just God works through that, and it's refreshing to hear you say that, Adam, and anyone else who may eventually listen to this. It's important that you remind your pastors and teachers and your parents and whoever it may be that you are thankful for those God moments or those God winks where you see a glimpse of God in them. And it's not saying that they are God. It's just that you see a glimpse of them. Yeah, exactly. I was just talking to a friend before. Like I said, I wrote in the comments, I'm always late to the party. It's just like this week's been hectic. I've been on the phone a ton. I've been on emails it's just, and I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and we've been longtime friends, and we play softball together and stuff. And he came to my team. He came to me and asked for a spot on the team back in 2009.
after the '08 season. He had his own little team, whatever. And they didn't do so well, and he had seen that we were really competitive. We traveled. At that time, we were playing. That year, that was the most I traveled. In 2010, not 9, but 2010, I played 368 softball games.
Oh,
And yeah, we traveled 5 states that year, almost
Wow.
6, but didn't make it to the national finals, where we were going to go up to New Jersey or where it was at that year. I can't even remember. But we had been to Florida, we've been to Vegas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas, like Dallas twice that year. And he had seen that, the caliber, that's where he wanted to get to. And so he was really green. He was a baseball player. So we had to convert him to softball side of things. Well, then now in the next several weeks, as the temperatures get a little better, we're going to start, going to batting practice and stuff. And I'm asking him on some tips and some ideas of how to do some things. It's just kind of like we were just saying, and I told him, I said, that's crazy because, 14 plus years ago, you came to me for this, and this, and now I'm asking you because over the last 6 years, I've stepped back from the travel scene. I only play rec, you know what I'm saying? I play 1 or 2 tournaments a year, and he's still full force in it. Well, he officially retired from it as well last year, but he's been at it competitively a little longer towards the back end, and he's became a phenomenal ball player. He is a major player. He's a Class B player. Where he goes to Las Vegas for Worlds. He's been he goes down to Disneyland to play. So he is going to help me with some things that I need to work on my swing with. It's just crazy how the world works, or how things. I'm like, dude, did you really just it's like a funny joke I always say. Young grasshopper, you get it's like, dude, am I grasshopper now? Is this how this is working?
We call you Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
Call you Adam's son.
So it's just more than what you guys were, just a more of an example of what you guys were talking about.
And that's how the Bible describes it. We're to sharpen one another. It's like iron sharpens iron. I can't say that.
iron sharpens iron.
That word. Yeah, that word. Small impediment, so it happens. But that's what the Bible describes it. It's that's how believers and fellow people who may even share same interests outside the church. That's how we better each other. That's how we enrich each other. Because as humans, we never get a full aspect of the bigger picture, even in fields that we find interest in. And so it's important that we don't get stuck in this wind tunnel where I know everything and I have all the answers, to where it's like Adam and his friend or his protege or whatever. It's like that we act like that we never get too full of ourselves, that we can't think, oh, this person that I helped didn't come to us, because that's a form of pride, and it's the wrong type of pride. Because there is a good pride, but that would be the wrong type of pride. It's stopping you from growing. It's making you stagnant. So it's great to hear that he's a good example. Adam's a good example of someone who knows something that made someone better, and so that person's now able to help them. And that's and really that's the best way I hope that someday this world gets to, is that we encourage people who are good at things to teach others, and maybe someday be taught by the people that they taught. And so we continue to grow.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just crazy how that works. A lot of times in this world we live in, there's just a lot of times people are so prideful and they're scared to put that aside just to be, because people are so worried about being told they were wrong, or their idea was wrong, or it won't work. Or it's like even though, so I've done fencing for in construction fencing, not
I thought you meant sword fencing. I was like,
yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's why I switched. That's why I said, construction.
He picks up a wooden fence post and on guard.
Right. So I'm going into almost 20 years of doing that, and my son, that's 21, he'll be 22 in May. He'll come, he'll work for me time to time, because he has his own job and all that stuff. But at times he'll come and work with me. And he'll be like, why do we do it this way? And why? I said, I don't know, because that's how they've done it since 1600. I don't know. Like, this is the way we do it. And he'll be like, well, why don't we try it this way? I'm like, because it's not going to work. Well, how do you know it's not going to? Because I probably already tried, so we'll go back and forth. And I'll be like, all right, cool. What are we doing? You tell me what we're doing. So we'll go and do it his way for the better part of 30 minutes. We're not getting anywhere. And I go, all right, so now can we go back to doing what we were like how it's supposed to, that's why that I did didn't work. So it's like, so even at that point, I still put I'm like, I'll entertain it. Let's see, and then not even, and I didn't say, well, see, I told you so or nothing like that, because, hey, maybe he had a spin on that idea I had done it, because what he did try to do, I had already tried many, many times back when I first started. And if it worked, I would have ran with it and been like, because it's like people say you can't reinvent the wheel, right? But how many different versions of a wheel are there, though, this day and age?
That's right.
That's a good idea.
There's different sizes, different widths, different, do you use, when you race a guy with a 34-inch tire and a guy racing a 16-inch tire, like, who do you think's really going to get that? The big tire or the small tire? So it's like, yeah, you might not be able to change the wheel per se, but you can. There's variations of it. So his idea,
you can improve on it. You can improve on it
for sure. And so if we would have improved what we were doing, I would have absolutely ran with it and implemented it. And it was just, like I said, it's one of those things that, like, people that think they're always right, or they can't put their, go, I've done this for 50 years. There's no way that way is going to work. Well, heck, maybe it will today. Maybe it didn't work the 49 times you tried it. The sun shines sometimes, they say, on the dog's rear end. So
That's what I was thinking.
It's like my grandpa always said, you never know. You don't win unless you try. Like, I guess it's the same idea here. It's like you don't know unless you try, right?
yeah, I love at times trying things and failing. I love it. Like, it's just weird. I tell people that, because, I did mixed martial arts, and the 5 losses that I have, I learned from any of the, the 11 wins. So, it's like you learn more, in my opinion, by failing or trying to fail. Now, I'm not saying everybody should go out there and fail. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, in my experiences, if you got an idea of something, or you try to do this and you fail, and then you go back and you accomplish that feat, it's like, I don't know. If everything just comes easy to you, what's the fun in that?
Well,
Yeah.
It's just, I know I like a challenge, I guess, and I like to take the hard road, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't think that way.
everyone, say fail, but everyone, fails or doesn't succeed. Like, for example, Michael Jordan. I want to say arguably the best basketball player.
Couldn't
He
play
is.
baseball.
He is a complete baseball.
That's another argument with me on another day.
So, but that's it. But
LeBron James.
But Jordan, no, he didn't just get to where he's at, where he could dunk from the free throw line. He didn't do it once like he was there. How many times did he fail? How many baskets did he miss? All those things. He had to improve. You always have to do. There is failure. If you go, I failed, and then you walk away, then you did fail.
Yeah.
But if you keep trying and improving and getting better, Shaquille O'Neal's not good at making free throws. He kept trying, just never got better. No.
Sometimes in what I talk that up to, like when people will say, like, well, I've done this and I keep, or like, let's say somebody shooting free throws. Well, they never could get above 50%. Just sometimes that's what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's in the cards to be what that is. Like, Jim Kelly that went to 4 Super Bowls and he didn't win any of them.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure he got different results in each one of them, but the ending result was always a loss. He never got to get that one win, which is tragic, but
Yeah.
because I couldn't imagine. And it just sometimes like Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, Sean Kemp, all these great basketball players that didn't win a ring because why? Michael Jordan stood in their way and said, "No, not on my watch." That doesn't mean that they're less of a player. Or I mean, people will say that because they're not Michael Jordan. But I'm saying I have a hard time judging I don't want to judge my success to another person's success.
That's
Like,
wife real quick. I'll be right back.
you know, I don't think people should judge one man's success to another man's.
And we aren't. We're not meant to judge ourselves according to like other people's successes and standards. And also another point to make is failure is good if you have a malleable soul or spirit to learn from it. If you can drop your pride and say, well, I lost because of this or that or this or that, and just look back and see what you could have done better, you can learn just about from any hardships. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. It's like I call it a malleable spirit, a very Plato-like spirit. You know, you can form it and turn it whatever you want. You have to be able to swallow your pride and say, "Oh, okay, this didn't work. Why didn't it work? What can I do better? What can I learn from this? What have I learned from this?" You know,
Right.
it is so important that you have that mindset that it's like I don't know everything. I don't.
Yeah, I do. I'm glad I don't know everything. I could not imagine. So like people always talk about like, you know, like Elon Musk or somebody like of that brain capacity, right? Like how smart and how they know this, know that. I don't know. Like that to me, how is that not nerve wracking? How is that like to know that that man's brain is always, you know, and to fight within yourself. I'm sure the arguments he has within himself that nobody ever sees, and the self doubt he has. And people think, oh, he's got it all together. He's got millions, and he's got this, he's got that, he's got what? You know, like, yeah, but he has self doubt and everything else like every other person does. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
if we could see the things behind the scenes, because we see the end product. You know, we always say, "Oh, they were good from the beginning." No. Everybody had to start someplace. Not everybody could make the perfect basket. Not everybody could hit a home run. Not everybody could get in behind a car and go around the circle or what have you and win a trophy. You know, they all had to get there. They all had to climb. They all had to, like, do as I say, learn from their mistakes and be willing to ask the hard question. What can I do better? Who can I learn from? What can I learn from them? Say, you know, being able to admit that somebody's better at something isn't a weakness. It's saying, hey, I can improve to be like them or to maybe someday go beyond them. You know, it's important that we have that spirit because as believers, that's, you know, we're learning from a being that has all the answers, who's still creating things that marvel our mind. And if we have that mindset of like, oh, well, there's nothing new, or we have an unwillingness to learn, there's no way for God to say, hey, God, teach me something new today. You know, we have to be able to swallow our pride and be willing to learn from those who come before us. So,
Because pride's a downfall for a lot of people.
oh yeah, it's
Pride and ego.
this is completely off topic, but did you guys see that or read about that over like north UK, Germany area or somewhere, I don't know, Germany, UK, somewhere over there, where that asteroid entered it had dispersed before, of course, it did any damage or whatever, and it happens all the time. But this one was actually recorded from the time it was outer space till it came all the way in until it. Did you guys see anything about that?
I haven't seen anything about that yet.
Yeah, it was something like, of course, the caption was clickbait. It said something like, you know, asteroid headed towards, you know, Earth or what. I don't know what it said. It said something, and so of course I click on it, you know, and then I read it, and it's an actual article, and it's actually a good read. It wasn't like some bogus, you know, this is gonna land at this time, and it's gonna, you know. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, okay. I thought those happened more frequently, but I guess to get into the actual, like where it got to, doesn't happen all the time.
It's easy to burn
But
up.
it was huge when it started.
I'm glad it didn't land.
But like I said, it's off. Well, what I mean, I don't know. We ain't got enough time for it, but next week I got some ideas. We can talk about stuff like along the lines of that, as far as like people's thoughts or opinions on like the Big Bang Theory, you know.
great TV show.
It is. I like
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That was one of my favorites.
it.
You know, and a lot of the people or scientists or whatever are saying that, you know, one day it was, you know, another one's going to happen again. We're going to get hit by a big whatever, and it's going to be, you know, but like I said, it's for another whatever. But
No, we do that next week. You're a topic for next week. This is what that's what you're here for.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a topic.
But Elon Musk. So do you guys follow Elon Musk at all, or think anything of him, or
Whenever he makes the news or he has a comment to make or something, I pay attention. Why not? How can it hurt?
Some billionaire with electric cars about working.
SpaceX and Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of it, like a podcast he's been on. Not for the fact I think everything he says is true or going to be or anything. I just think like he's a fascinating person to me. I think that because some of the stuff is so wow, I'm like no way, like you know. So and then there's other things he says, I'm like okay, I can get behind that. There's other things I'm like that's whatever, because I don't have the brain capacity to understand half the stuff probably, you know. But he said his opinion on, because he's always asked, what do you think's going to be the end of civilization? And he said, us ourselves.
I can see that.
Yeah.
He said that because of reproduction. He said it'll be a lack of reproduction is what will ultimately end our human species or whatever, you know, because he said he threw out all these numbers, you know, that like family sizes, what they used to be to what they are now, marriages, what they were, what they are now, people in the church, what they are now. He threw all these things out there that I was like, okay. You know, he said people on average at one time were having, you know, like 3 to 4 kid households, you know, family households. And now you're lucky, like every so many 100,000 have one child,
Yeah.
or 0. At the age he said the pod he was on, the oldest person was 29, and none of them had, and they were like 24 to 29. There's 3 of them, and he said, how many children do you have? What's your age? How many? And they all said none. He said exactly. Back however many years ago, they would already had 3 by this at 23 or whatever. And so he said that's what he believes, that he thinks that just lack of, just simply, there's none here.
Yeah. Well, there's other things that are involved in that as well. You know, I'm not going to get into, I don't want to say rainbow people. That's not right. But you know, when you push for men to want to become women, or that aspect, they're not going to have kids, or remove or hormone blockers, so that all adds into it, along with also people living longer, having kids later, all these things, these different aspects.
And like he's saying, there's different things that feed into that. And I agree that's one of many scenarios where we end up destroying ourselves. Let's face it, we're pretty good at one thing, and it's destroying ourselves.
I just think that would be another cool topic if we could get down that rabbit hole, because I mean it's kind of, you know,
as long as we remember that these things are all in God's hands. It's like, it's important.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. It's because it's fun to go down these rabbit holes as long as we don't go too deep. But it's like we got to remind people there's no point where God can't say, okay, enough, time to come back, time to wheel this back, time to heal some wounds. That's just the type of God we have. I mean,
for sure,
we see examples of that throughout history where God's like, hey, this is on the brink. It's time to bring this back. It's time to do something new. So,
and he could also flood the world and remove everybody too.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Or what about what? I mean, like from another side of that, the opposition of that, or God says, you know what? I gave and gave and gave and gave and tried to do this. That is God's way.
I I could see that, but there's also we have to remember that we serve a God who gave up His Son. So are we saying we would have to we would essentially be asking the question is like, was that for nothing? You know,
Right.
yeah, and not that you are, but we would. And so keeping that in the mindset of like God paid a heavy price for us, one that granted His Son's with Him now in heaven, but it's the point is He paid a heavy price, and
Yeah, for sure.
and it's one none of us could pay. So it's like, would He really just give us up? I can see Him letting us get to a point where it's so bad we think things couldn't get any worse, and they do, and then Him saying, "Hey, look, here I am. Let's come back. Let's do this again." I can fully see a God doing that, because let's face it.
That's what I envision and hope for. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And let's face it, that the Great Depression is a good example in this country. It taught us that we can't put our trust in money and in banks and things of that nature. You still see scars. It got so bad. And it's not unheard of God doing that. It's not.
Yeah.
So,
well, the pandemic that just happened, and like when everything shut down and nobody could leave their homes and everybody didn't know what was going to happen with their money, so people were scared to spend money. Like, so,
his intention wasn't to kill or to hurt. That's just something that happens because of our pride and our arrogance. But he can use that disaster that we make and turn it into something good.
Yeah, we made that disaster happen.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Through our pride.
Like we funded the Wuhan, like we funded that laboratory. I mean, it's already late and the show's already done with, but so like, I mean, that's a whole other thing too.
He's right.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. They admitted, like in Congress, Fauci and others admitted to sending millions over there.
And regardless of how it started, we also had a lot of things like we didn't take the steps we should have. We got too proud. I mean, how much of the medical supplies that were left over were rotted and destroyed because we didn't think of, this couldn't happen here again. So we didn't even think of like putting new medical supplies and back so that it would be ready for things like that. And it's those things that we start to realize, hey, maybe even though we have it good, we don't have it as secure as we thought. And it also showed us that we did have it good. Because you see how what happened, and so it's also a reminder. Hey, you guys have it pretty darn good compared to the rest of the world.
When people weren't going out for like a neighborhood walk in the evening or something or whatever, everybody was chomping at the bit to go for a walk that hadn't took a walk in 30 years or.
Like a thing that bothered me was when the China virus hit. People was talking about, we're not going to church, we're not going to so and so. But yet you'd see them down there at the stupid Wally World buying groceries with millions of people wearing the mask like a little.
Well,
I mean, but I know that just kind of drove me crazy. People would use, and I know a bunch of people that did this, use any excuse they can not to go to church, and it's like, hey, this is the time we need to be going to church when something like this happens,
But I worked at Walmart during that time.
So did my son.
Yeah, we could have 1,000 people in our store based on the square footage of the building. So if you've ever been in a Walmart, the entire store is not occupant friendly for customers and stuff. But there's a warehouse in the back, back room. There's freezers, coolers, auto shop, garage, all that. But based on the entire square footage, including garden center, all that stuff was considered square footage. We could have 1,000 people. But our church that we had literally 5 people. We couldn't go to church. And if you did, you were threatened of getting arrested. So I'm like, we have 1,000 people in here, but we can't have 5. And get away from each other.
And the sad thing is, we as Christians and churches allowed that kind of thinking, allowed that to take place, allowed all that to happen to prevent. I mean, when we should have been saying, "Hey, come to church. This is where we need you."
Well, I seen a couple, and not to run long here on your guys' thing, but there was a church. I want to find the article and I'll share it. It was a couple that stood on it and said, "I guess you're arresting me. I guess you're finding me." and they hooked and booked them right there on the steps of that church or wherever it was. I can't remember where it was at, but I'll have to find it. And he went not once, twice, but like a handful of times. He broke that infraction or whatever it was because he's like, it's not a law, it's
That's
a
right.
ordinance. It's not in the Constitution. You can't arrest me for breaking the law because it's not a law. It's a
First Amendment rights.
It's not a law. You're arresting me for organizing or whatever,
Yeah.
and which that's in the Constitution, but it wasn't even that to that extreme. He was just like, this is a ordinance. This is a suggestion. I'm not breaking a law, and he stood on it. The community backed him on it, and there was another one where this guy was having services out in the open, not inside of not inside. And he got fined, and every day on the day it was like $500 a day or something like that. Just boom, boom, racking them up. And he still preached and said, "I'm not, like my God says this," and like.
And
That's bold.
Double standards that we shouldn't like. Because even Jesus didn't like double standards. If something's the rule for one, it should be the rule for all, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's not so much like there isn't in between parts. I get it. You can argue, well, people need to eat more than they need to go to church, and it's like, okay, fine. But what that one pastor did, was outside, he was literally taking steps so that the virus wouldn't spread. And he still was fine. That doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, you have Walmart, who didn't take really a whole lot of precautions to protect their customers at all. And
Yeah,
it's
they didn't care.
and that's okay. I grant we need Walmarts and stores so that we can feed people and all that stuff.
Walmart's a joke.
Yeah, but it still provides food. And then the end point is, it's like I saw unfairness in that. It's like, okay, one person gets punished for being belligerent, fine. But when you have two people doing one not doing it and then the other doing it but still being punished, that's not right to me.
No.
It's not.
Yeah, what's fair? You got to be fair
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Well, I need to start getting in here on time so I don't make you guys run past time. But I want to say this last thing, and then I'll get on out of here and shut my mouth.
You're good. You're good.
What made during that time? Why was it essential workers? Okay, essential workers could be out and about doing whatever. How come they deemed it essential for you to have the telephone guy or the Facebook guy, the internet guy, come to your house to hook your internet up, but it wasn't essential to the next guy that needed his Sunday sermon?
That's right.
Why? Like that, to me, that's backwards. Like,
Yeah.
it's essential because some people, like, the people don't people that I guess that aren't Christian or don't believe or whatever, that food they ate the morning is less to that Christian that needs that sermon. They would rather have that sermon than eat that day. And there are people out there,
Spiritually.
So I just want to leave it with that, that how is it essential for a hairdresser to go to work, but a pastor or a preacher or whatever, somebody that was teaching the word, how come that's not how is that not essential?
And that goes
me,
Of
that is
all times when you need to have that faith.
To me, that's the most essential person there is as a pastor, in my opinion.
And that goes into the fact that we live in a fallen world. What we see as Christians is essential, others don't. And so they're going to base it off of what they think is right, while we would base it off of what we think is right. And so as believers, it's not fair. It's not, but we were told that it wasn't going to be fair. We were.
Well, if they think on Judgment Day that gallon of milk's going to help them versus the good Lord, boy, I'd like to be next to that person.
But Lord, I have milk here.
Yeah, but I just got a new haircut.
But it's important. But it's important that we remember we live in a fallen world, and their morals are not necessarily ours, and it is upsetting, and it can be disappointing. But we have to kind of look at it like God does and Jesus does. It's like they don't know, they do not know, or they think they know.
Have you guys ever heard Paul Harvey's take back in the '60s on his radio show that he talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
How
it's,
eye open. Jared, have you heard it?
I probably have because I've heard a lot of Paul Harvey
I'll
stuff.
share it to you. It's
Yeah,
wow.
spot on.
Wow.
Yeah.
and
In the
that is the
60s?
rest of the story.
Like, and it's just wow. I mean, it's the best way to describe it. I mean, if anybody listening, go YouTube it. Paul Harvey, 64-ish, 66 somewhere in there. He did in talking about where the world was going to get to, or what would be the fall of the, like with the devil being wow. Just I heard it a few years back and was like, okay,
Paul Harvey's smart.
there's something in that. Like there's just unless he was the ultimate Back to the Future cast. I mean, I don't know. Like it just because he said things that legitimately are happening right now. Like it's
Great Scott, Marty.
yeah. But anyway, I'll get out of here. I'll have to get on time next time.
No, hang in there. We'll do a prayer on them to stay in their room after we.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk a little. You want to do
So
the prayer
I'm
out?
about to do the prayer out, ladies and gentlemen. Bow your heads or however you feel like you need to pray. Father in heaven, we just thank you for this time as believers to come together. We thank you for the exchange for ideas. We thank you for the chance to sharpen one another and to be a light in each other's lives. We pray that this podcast reaches those that you intend for it to. We pray that you continue to remind us that we do live in a fallen world and that while we have certain beliefs that we know to be true, others may not share it, but may we show patience, love, and understanding, and just continue to pray for our surroundings, our country, those in need, those far and wide, those who are evangelists, and those who are just out there right now doing your work. And we just pray that we continue to be a light and that we continue to grow and that we don't stagnate. We thank you, Jesus, for this time. Amen.
Till next week.
But